He's an actor, a singer, a dancer. He believes in reincarnation. He's seen UFOs, and he's fond of stray dogs. Well, have you guessed who I'm talking about? If you haven't, the answer is my guest, Shaimak Davar. Welcome to the program, Shaimak.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
Now, I can add to that incredible list that you also come from a fearsomely academic background. Your grandfather founded the Davar College of Commerce,
Right.
and both your parents are professors. Are you an academic as well?
Well, actually, to be very honest with you, I wasn't very good in school academically, but I was great in the performing arts.
So you broke the family tradition.
Yeah, I broke it in how, and also went into playing Toto from Wizard of Oz. The dog was my first musical. And
I'm told that's where the love of stray dogs comes from. Huh?
I'm also born Dasera. So
So you have a real combination of gifts.
yeah.
Now, on top of all of that, you were the youngest of 3 children. What sort of childhood did you have?
I wasn't very, I was always, I think, how do I say, I was very energetic. I never could sit still. Teachers always say you can never sit still, you talk your head off. I was talkative, I was expressive.
Were you mischievous?
I was very mischievous, and I liked it. And I didn't like to be boring and
And did your parents indulge you, or were you constantly
No, they were
disciplined?
actually fantastic, because I would be, I think, how do I say, Shaimak walks into class and the teacher says, Shaimak, out before you start talking, I'm warning you, you know, things like that. But it was good fun. I still say that my school life, or whatever, was not really the happiest time of my life.
Really? Why was that?
Because even though I was like the one who makes fun, or the one who's like the clown, or the one who's crazy, or the one who can sing and dance, suddenly go into a song, like I'll just suddenly go, Kiski khushboo hai, meri saanson mein, in the middle of a class, for example, not that song because that's a new song. And I'd go and sing Elton John, I would, you know, play the piano. In the middle of the class, I'd run to the piano in the hall, and all of us would go and play.
So you were too unconventional for school.
Yeah, I think so.
The discipline really got on your nerves.
I never liked school too much. But
I'm
I
not
loved my
surprised, because your
teachers.
friends say that right through your young days, it was singing and it was acting that really drove you. And I gather you used to go visit your great uncle's studio. He had a
Yeah.
film studio in those days.
Yeah,
And you
Homiwal,
did,
yeah.
and you did imitations of Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John, Billy Joel. I would go and watch Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire in the movies, and come home and enact those dance scenes. And more than that, I would come home and enact the acting scenes. And dancing, choreography wasn't even in the, it didn't even come to me. You know, it wasn't even a part of it. It was singing and acting, or acting and singing.
So when you got that role as Toto in The Wizard of Oz, that must have been really a great moment for you.
Yeah, there was like a acting thing. It was good fun.
And this love of dogs, have you really acquired it because of that, or is that just a good story?
No. One thing about me is that I don't say things I don't mean. Like if I love a dog, I love dogs, I love stray animals. I really, you know, the thing is, it's people who found that out about me, because I don't go around telling people I love stray dogs. It's become now known, because a lot of the animals that come in my schools at various centers in my dance classes, I always have like a Moti, a Raju, or Rani, and you know, all over the place.
So
And
if I were to say Shaimak is surrounded by dogs, that's not an insult, you'd
That
actually
is-
like it.
Do you know something? I really do believe that man is very dumb in that respect, to think that animals are lower than man. Because I think animals are so intelligent, perceptive, and man can learn a lot from animals.
That's very true.
It's
But
a fact.
let's go back to the story of Shaimak, and then we come to the story of the animals later. Your first professional role was Tommy when you were 20. Do you remember it?
Yeah, it was a flop show. I remember we did 5 shows, it flopped. And I was so upset because it would go on for like a year. It flopped in 5 shows. Yeah, I remember it because it was my first as a chorus dancer. And it was something I was just doing because I was bored.
But the
was-
show flopped, you didn't, because you got a great break. Alec Padamsee saw you and
Yeah.
cast you as Che Guevara
Yeah.
opposite Sharon in Evita.
Yeah.
Was that a big break at the time?
You see, what happened was, before that, I had done a musical called Grease Lightning. Grease, the musical.
The John Travolta role?
Yeah. And in Evita, I was just a dancer while it was going on with Dalip. I was dancing while Dalip was doing Che. And Alec comes to the show and says, hey man, I didn't know you could sing. And sing like this, so please come and sing for Magaldi. That was the other guy, because he was leaving. Then Dalip left. Then he says, you can play Che easy. Now you're going to do
So
it.
it was musical roles for you?
Yeah.
Whoever left, you took on the role.
Yeah. And I was very happy to do that because it made me sing. You see, for me, singing is...
Now, as you said a moment ago, dancing actually happened by accident. You went to England to train as an actor and got deflected to dancing. How did it actually happen?
I was doing an acting workshop and a voice workshop, and suddenly in the next door was this guy doing these amazing leaps and jumps, and I said, I must go inside and just check it out. So my inquisitiveness, I think, got the better of me, and I went for one class, and I found it came to me easy. I felt...
But you're really saying that if you hadn't seen this guy doing the leaps, you wouldn't have imitated him and you'd never have become a dancer?
Never. Because, I mean, I would do it. I would go for, jiving competitions with my ex-girlfriends and jive and show off and get these...
But that was fun, not serious.
Yeah, but that was a fun thing. I never even... today I think back and say, my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I want to do acting and singing. I'm still only doing choreography or dancing when actually I want to act and sing.
Now, in fact, the Shaimak we know today, who's sitting in front of me, really was created by that experience in England and then New York. When you came back to India, in those days they used to say dancing is effeminate.
Yes.
Did that offend you? Was it difficult to take?
Well, it did upset me for the first 1-2 years, because it wasn't only the effeminate thing, but they said that, you should be doing Indian dance and not Western dance. And why are you doing that? People would say that to me. And I think my Parsi background, I was... brought up in a very different society, in the sense of that I had a lot of Western influences, from Frank Sinatra to everybody. And the first class of mine which I had was with 7 people, and out of them 5 were my family, cousins, very dear friends, Nahid, Roy, all my very good friends, and 2 students. So I started with 7, and I really was, are you sure I should be doing this? But again, that's another concept which I believe in, is spirituality. I was very much into communication with my spiritual guides. And
so dance, in a sense, knits this all together for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Just explain to me. People say that a Shaimak Davar dance has a lot of different elements. How would you describe your own style?
I think it's full of soul, because I believe in the soul. I believe in eternal life. I believe in expression of the soul. I believe in dance and song and acting not just being a physical medium, but I think it's a combination of mind, body and spirit. And for me, spirit is also very important, the spiritualness of the dance, because eventually when you're dancing, and see, like now I'm in an interview with you and I'm like stumbling, or I'll talk wrong grammar maybe, but when I'm on stage, I'm so confident, I'm doing my thing.
So when Shaimak speaks, he dances?
Yeah, when I sing, I'm acting. When I'm acting, I'm moving. So the thing is, they all connect with each other. It's not like they're different parts.
Are you your best on stage?
I think so.
You're a performer?
I think so. I think I'm a damn good performer. Without the pride element. I'm not being proud saying that, but I really think that the reason I'm improving as a performer, if that's the better way of putting it, is because of my faith in God and the belief that you have to keep on learning. So I always go and update.
But there's something else about performance, isn't it? All good performers are also exhibitionists. You're a bit of an exhibitionist too?
Maybe. I think so, yeah. I think so.
You like attracting attention and you like giving your best in return.
I used to love attracting attention when I was young. And that's why I was the centerpiece in the class, and the crazy one or the funny one or the one who would make everybody laugh. But I think as I'm growing older, I'm becoming more and more reserved in my personal life, which I used to be quite...
But you're also becoming more varied in your professional life, because in 1994 you moved from just being a dancer to a professional singer as well. It all started with Come On Raju, but what made you take that professional leap as a singer?
Actually, I must tell you that for the games, the national games, I was very reluctant to sing in Hindi and Marathi, that too, because I was nervous of saying, because of my Parsi background. I was a little nervous about...
Well, be honest, you didn't know the language, that's why you were nervous.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So I was literally petrified, But I was forced by the people saying, no, you must try, you have to do it, you must do it. We've heard you sing and you're being silly, come on, just do it.
You took your courage in your hands and did it.
Yeah, and then I sang in even Marathi, and then I got a real kick, because the entire stadium, and that was a song I composed myself, and the lyrics were by Bharat Dabolkar. And, to hear it back, your own music, and people shouting Raju, 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 and it was a high, because the entire stadium shouted, come on, Raju,
but nothing like the high when you made a hit with your first Hindi pop. Do you remember Mohabbat Karni?
That was fantastic. Is
it true that you had to actually take tuition lessons to pronounce the language properly?
I had to have a kind of an instructor saying, it's not gum, it's gham. and khushbu and stuff like that. And I would go, okay, kha kha, and I would learn that up. But it's come out pretty well, I must say. But I must say, it's not as easy as it looks to just sing. But once I learned up, I'm good at it.
Sounded very easy when you were singing a moment ago, and I
Yeah,
interrupted
that's
you
because
there.
I know it, you see.
Sing a bit more for me.
किसकी खुशबू है मेरी सांसों में महकी महकी सी जानी जानी सी दिल था अभी सीने में उसको चुराया जाने किसने.
Amazing. One would never think that you were a dancer and a singer. I would say that you were just born to do both together.
Thanks a lot.
In 1998, you did a duet with Sting, Every Breath You Take. Was that fun, or was that also just a little intimidating?
That was something I can't even explain, because Sting, Elton John, Billy Joel, Al Jarreau, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, Barbra Streisand, all idols of mine. And I could not believe that Sting actually, took me backstage and said, okay, I heard you want to sing, let's sing. He took his guitar backstage and said, every breath you take, start singing. He said, now you sing. So I went in English saying, whatever. And he said, no, you sing in Hindi.
So what did you sing?
So for 5 seconds, I stumbled, I said, God help. And the same song I sang to you, Jani Kisne. So I said, in the same music of every breath, I said, Kiski khushbu hai, meri saanson mein, mehki mehki si, jani jani si, I'll be watching you, to his music. And he says, you're on, you're brilliant, fuck. So I just was there in shock, dying, scared, petrified, looking at him in awe.
And then you came on
Big
stage
throat,
and came
big
alive.
guy, doing yoga before his rehearsal. It was fantastic. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Your latest Hindi video, Dil Chahe, came out this year, and it's gone straight, predictably, to the top of the charts.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is you've done everything. The music, the choreography, the costumes, even the video direction.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? Are you greedy for all the good parts?
No, you know what? I really believe that even directing wasn't something I was going to do. But at that time, they were busy doing another project, and they said, I think you can do it now. You can direct a video. And I said, no, I can't direct a video. So I went to friends of mine, Sanjay F. Gupta, and I went to Ravi Udyawar, and I went to other people. I said, please help me. And they were busy. Then again, coming to the other side of my life, my spirituality. So when I was in my, thought process with my beautiful spiritual guides called the Bhavnagris, they said, Shaimak, do it yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. You've got to do it.
So it is a challenge you took on.
So I took it on, and believe me, once I said yes, I didn't feel fear. I just went ahead. I had a canvas to do anything I wanted. I designed the costumes. I did everything I wanted to do and put it up there.
So this
I
is
used
the
white and
ultimate
everything.
Shaimak product. Dil
Yeah, I
Chahe
think
is
so.
you in every way.
Yeah, I think so.
Shaimak, let's take a break. I want to come back in part 2 and talk about not just your spirituality, which you've teased us with so much in this part, but I also want to talk about the other side of your spirituality, the work you've done in films that have really made you a household name. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stay with us. Welcome back. My guest is Shaimak Davar. Shaimak, you really became a household name when you did the choreography Dil To Pagal Hai, and in fact you got a national award for that as well. But I gather that right up to that point you didn't want to get involved with films. Why?
Maybe I was too scared of...
Yourself or scared of films?
No, scared of the kind of movement and choreography that I could not probably do the same thing as them. At the same time, I was always worried that, oh, no, let me just do my theatre. And my priority actually was my school. I must be honest about that. My Institute for the Performing Arts is something that I live for every day.
This is the school you set up with 5 people right at the beginning.
7, yeah.
7.
And then now we have quite a bit. But the thing is that was my focus. But my depression was, on the other hand, I want to be a star. I want to be a singer. I want to be an actor. I want to do more than just teach. I can do teaching the rest of my life, but I can't be on stage the rest of my life. So I have to get up there and do my thing for me. So I think that was the major feeling. And that's why I think when someone said, do you want to do a film? Like Mr. Yash Chopra said, do Dilwale Dulhania. I said, no, absolutely. That time I was really not ready.
Really not ready or really still too scared?
Extra petrified. That time I was too petrified. Because that time I really didn't think of it. Then Gauri, who was Shah Rukh's wife, would come to my classes and do my shows with me. She was pestering me. You're stupid, you're being silly. Then Shah Rukh, when he had dinner with me, would say, Shaimak, you're being dumb. What's the big deal? Just do it on screen. There's no difference. I said, no, my dancers have to use other... I said, no, you can use your dancers. You can do what you want. I said, but what about the costumes? You can do that. So he made me feel, ease. And then he said, there's Karishma and Madhuri, who are also phenomenal dancers. So I said, that's a good idea. And then I said, I've got to choreograph you. He said, see, I'm there for you. I'll support you. Come
and
on.
at the end of all this, you got not just the national award, but 4 others. What did it suddenly mean?
I'll be honest with you, very honest with you. The first award, I was excited. And it was lovely to see my mother's expression. Like, when they said, and Shaimak Davar, you could actually see her, and very happy. That was a good feeling, looking at her face. The great feeling also was receiving from Kamal Haasan, the first award, because I really like him. And, when you work 15 years and you win an award, people say, oh, his first film, he won the national award. But they don't know that 16 years ago, I worked so hard to come here, when a lot of people made fun of me, scoffed me, said, how can you do dancing or singing or acting? Davar's college is there, you must do that and stuff. And I was always, because you see, my father again is...
So in a strange way, getting the award made you a little defensive and a little protective.
I think before the award, I was petrified of all my work I've been doing. But because I think I was so determined and so in love with what I do, that I sustained it. And what really sustained me, as I keep on repeating myself, is my faith in God, my faith in the Bhavnagaris, my spiritual guides, my parents' support. Because you see, I'll be very honest with you, for me, my parents have been damn good. And I'm not saying that because you have to say, your parents, my parents have, thank you and all. It's a fact, they were fabulous.
I have to come to your faith in God. You said it so often, it's tantalizing. Tell me, I read in all your interviews, and I've heard you say it at least 7 or 8 times in this particular interview, that you're religious, you have great faith in God. And usually you say in your newspaper interview, something you haven't said here, you're also very spiritual. What do you mean?
I think religion and spirituality are 2 different things. I believe in basically doing service, but quietly. Like I won't tom-tom about the fact that, I go here and go there and do my work, which is very private. But I definitely do believe in afterlife. I do believe in that life is eternal. I believe that the word L-I-V-E is positive. The word moves forward. And if you go against nature, if you go by the backward door, it becomes E-V-I-L. So I do believe in the balance of everything, nature and everything.
Do you have a guru, a spiritual guru?
I have spiritual brothers. They're called Vispidatu Bhavnagari and Popsy and Rumi Uncle. They're my brothers in heaven, but they're not my physical brothers. They're my spiritual brothers who I take a lot of advice from. I really, really believe that life is eternal, that there is nothing like death. Of course, it's physical death, but I do believe the soul lives on.
When you say that you believe that life is eternal, is this what you also mean when you say you believe in reincarnation?
Absolutely. I believe that it's like a cloak. You're like your suit you've taken off. It's not a garment, and you go again to do your work.
So this existence is one garment, and there's been a garment before this, and there'll be a garment after this?
Absolutely. Till you achieve what we call a state of, we say, bliss.
Who was Shaimak before Shaimak became Shaimak?
That's the thing. You see, even when I was young, at the age of, I think, 15, I saw a UFO. And again, people said, oh God, Shaimak's being theatrical, he's being, typical schoolboy's imagination, and they scoffed me, they made fun of me.
What did it look like?
Well, actually, I'll tell you honestly what it looked like. It was like a circle with another circle around it, and had colors I've not seen.
Where was it? Was it descending?
No,
it
was just standing there. And it was...
On the ground?
No, it was in the air, above the sea. And it was stationary, there was no noise. Colors were beautiful around it. And it just moved.
It wasn't an illusion?
No.
You hadn't had a drink?
No, I didn't drink at that age. I don't drink now. I quite hate the taste of liquor. But I'll do it once in a while in a wedding to get high or something. But I don't really drink or smoke.
But when you saw this UFO,
I
how long
felt good.
did it last there?
And I told my aunt, and she said, what rubbish. And she came out and she saw it, luckily. I went to my father, told him I saw it. He says, Shaimak, what is this rubbish you're talking about? What is this nonsense? Come on, come on. I drove my father mad. I took him to this guy, apparently, in this building that looks like a ship. I don't remember where it was, years ago. And I said, please tell me it's a UFO. He said, no, 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 schoolboy's imagination, and come on, what is all this rubbish and all? Next in the papers, the Times of India, it was written there that Shaimak Davar spotted UFO and was dismissed off as schoolboy's imagination, but it was true, half of Mumbai saw it.
Tell me something, religion obviously means a lot to you. Sadly, you also have parents who are seriously ill. Is religion a comfort in coping with the pain of their suffering?
Wisdom is knowledge applied. if you understand why, what is the reason behind people's illness or suffering, then you understand it's not that difficult to cope with. Because my father has a brain disease, a degeneration of the brain. My mother had breast cancer, but she's fine by the grace of God. And my father usually would have been, I think, in a worse situation, but I believe that my faith in God and my spiritual guides, the Bhavanagiris, have made him at least comfortable. So I always believe there's a positive side to something bad that happens to you. Because again, there has to be a balance somewhere. Because I definitely believe in karma, cause and effect, what you sow you reap. And that's why when whatever little stardom I have, I don't know what you call it, it's not really, I'm not a Shah Rukh Khan, I'm not Hrithik Roshan, but whatever stardom I've got slowly, which is good, which I want, because you go up, you can come down in a second. And I've always tried to keep humble and try to do my spiritual balance of work besides my only physical singing, dancing, acting, my school. I go and do other things privately, which is I don't talk about because it's like becomes very showing off thing or selfish thing.
You have a lot of balance, as you say. But are you ever lonely? Do you ever look?
Yes, I'm very lonely. And I would be fooling you in saying I'm not lonely. Of course I'm lonely. I think the word is alone and lonely. I feel at times lonely, but I'm never alone. Because you see my dancers, my office, my family, my friends are by the grace of God beautiful people.
They are your family.
Yeah, they're my family.
But are you looking now? You're nearly 40 for a wife?
See, the thing is, again, I've had, girlfriends in the past which haven't lasted. And I also do believe that maybe if it's the right time, she'll come. But I'm not going to look. At the same time, I'm not going to go mad looking.
You leave everything in God's hands because He'll do it.
But I also believe that you got to work for it. You can't just say, God, I want to win the Grammy Award and the Oscar and I'm going to win it, but just sit there and do nothing. You have to work for it. You can't just get it in your hand. You have to work for everything. So on this front, if I meet someone I like and if something happens, maybe, who knows, inshallah, but it's not something I'm planning or working on. I'd rather do my music and dance and song and act that time, or teach.
Poor Shaimak, I'm sure what you want will happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for
so
a
much.
Wonderful interview.
Thank you for being so good to me. Thanks.